Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Craw Park. Let's jump right on in. All right, so as you know, we're in day 3 of our earnings season series. So as you know, every day we're talking about which companies are releasing earnings, and then I give some insight about whether I think the stock is going to go up or go down. Now, disclaimer. Anytime somebody gives you advice about investing in the stock market, you should always do your own due diligence. Never blindly follow anyone's advice. Okay, so if you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and share this video. All right, let's go. So yesterday, we had quite a few companies with earnings that were profound. So let's start with BP, right? So yesterday I said that BP was going to have a loss, and similar to their competitor Marathon, they were going to actually have their stock go down. Now, Marathon surprised us on Monday, if you want to know why, you can watch that video from Monday. But BP's in the same area, oil and gas, and so I felt like they were going to have a loss. Let's check it out. All right, so as you can see, BP did lose a significant amount of money. They lost $16.78 billion. That's B for billion. They also cut their dividend in half. So dividends are basically a payment from the company based on earnings. And so there are some companies that have given a dividend for honestly hundreds of years. And that's a way to keep people incentivized to keep the stock and hold it long term. However, BP has cut their dividend in half, which makes sense because they lost $16 billion last quarter. Okay. However, their stock price went up because they are committed to cutting costs, but more importantly, they're investing in low carbon emissions. All right, so that whole green earth, low carbon, no carbon, that initiative, investors really like that. And so as you can see, even though they lost almost $17 billion last quarter, the stock price went up because, as you know, the stock market is forward looking. So when you look forward, you say, okay, we're all going to be using gas and petroleum and oil at some point. But also the fact that they're going to cut costs and move into this new area, which is really hot, investors really like that. All right. Okay. Let's go to our next company, Beyond Meat. All right. So like I said before, this is my wife's favorite company. I wasn't too sure about it. I know that they did have a new partnership announced in April with China and Starbucks, rolling out the new product in a new market. And so let's see what happened to Beyond Meat. All right. So Beyond Meat lost money, not a big deal. They're a new company, they're expanding, makes sense. However, top line revenue was up 69% to $113 million. Okay. Now they did lose 10.2 million, but like I said, that's really to be expected. All right. Now they actually did meet expectations. However, they did not give guidance or a forecast for the rest of the year, which makes sense. I mean, given COVID and so on and so forth. However, investors want to know what's your game plan for the rest of the year, right? They're investing in the company. They want to know, when they have some kind of security about what the future looks like. And so, as I just said, the stock market is future looking. So if you don't give guidance for the rest of the year, investors have nothing to be secure about. And so thus your stock price falls. So as you can see, Beyond Meat took a little bit of a hit, but I'm sure they'll bounce back. All right, next company we talked about yesterday was Nikola. Okay, so as you know, Nikola, they're the commercial aspect in the field with Tesla for electric vehicles, right? But they're commercial as in they make, as we say in the South, 18 wheelers. Okay. Now, without even going into detail from the video from yesterday, we know that they're in this electric space. The company is going to be talked about a lot. However, they do not have sales yet. So we already know off the top they're going to have a loss because they haven't shipped any units of trucks yet. So let's look at their stock price and what happened today. All right. So as expected, they have a loss, right? Makes sense. $86 million last quarter. That's fine. They're ramping up production. They're building plants, so on and so forth. Blah, blah, blah. All right. However, you know, I didn't expect them to have such a, well, I can't say. Yeah, I didn't expect it to be this dramatic. But I knew they were going to take an L based on where they are right now. Although I did listen to some commentary from other analysts, and they have some serious doubts about the leadership of the company. So I'm sure that probably came into play as well. All right. Next company we talked about yesterday was Upwork. So my prediction was, well, even though Upwork is a kind of a co-working entrepreneurial space company, if you're an entrepreneur and you may have decreased revenue based on COVID-19 and you can work anywhere, do you really want to pay to rent a space? Probably not. When you can work in Starbucks for free or your own living room. All right, so I thought Upwork was going to have a decrease today. Let's see what happened. All right, correct. Now they do post a loss here, which makes sense. They lost $11 million. And so, but it wasn't as bad as expected. So, but their stock price did drop 3 points. So, and that's to be expected, right? As an entrepreneur myself, why would I keep a bill that I could easily eliminate? So, makes sense there. All right. Next company, we have Activision. All right. So, actually, yesterday I was talking about Activision, and so we talked about one of the competitors yesterday, or excuse me, in the Monday video, Take-Two, right? So Take-Two makes one of my favorite games, NBA 2K. So they're in that video game market, and as a matter of fact, Activision actually makes Candy Crush. They make Call of Duty, and they make World of Warcraft. I had no idea. So if they're anything similar to Take-Two, right? So, and you can probably see a theme here, right? So BP had earnings today that were trash. On Monday, their competitor Marathon had earnings which were trash, right? They both operate in the same industry. So today we have Activision, which I expect is going to have great earnings. And then yesterday, on Monday, we had Take-Two. They're also in the video game area. They also had great earnings. So I expect the same for them. Let's see what happened. All right. So Activision actually had a great quarter. They smashed expectations, right? To $1.93 billion in revenue last quarter. Wonderful. This is their biggest revenue, I believe, in 14 quarters, right? So great performance. Their monthly users, or the monthly active users, their MAU, was significantly up. However, for some reason, the stock price actually fell, and it's not expected. However, as I said before, the market can be irrational. So now, do I expect this to go back up tomorrow? Definitely. because there's no reason for Activision to actually take a loss. And if you remember, let's go back to Clorox. That's exactly what happened to Clorox, right? So as you can see back here, when they had their earnings, they actually took a loss, okay? So here, this blue bubble, they had crazy earnings, which makes sense because they're in the disinfectant cleaning arena, and that's what we all need right now with COVID. So they took a loss. Well, so when the earnings were announced, you can see this giant pop here. However, when the market opened, it sold off, right? Now, it is coming back up, as you can see, but for some reason, it took an initial decline. So going back to Activision, even though they took a small decline now, I expect that to actually go back up. If I could actually find their ticker symbol. There it is, ATVI. Okay. So like I said, even though they took a small L here today, or really after market, I expect tomorrow on Wednesday, it's going to shoot right back up. Same with Clorox. Okay. Moving on. A fan favorite. The Walt Disney Company. Now, just in case this is kind of looking a little cloudy, we're looking right here at Tuesday. Right here. Okay. So, I said before that it's kind of a toss-up, right? So you have the parks that tried to reopen, but then they couldn't really open because in California and in Florida, there was a resurgence in COVID-19. So those were going to take a loss. The cruise line going to take a loss. However, Disney does own ABC. They do own a piece of Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN Plus. So let's see what happens. All right. So looking at Disney, a positive incline. Investors really liked what they saw. Now, as you know, they did take a major loss, right? They lost $5 billion last quarter, right? Which makes sense. You know, one of their major value propositions, which is their theme parks, was out of commission. So it makes sense. However, their streaming numbers look phenomenal. All right, so between all those platforms I just mentioned, Hulu, Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, they actually have 101 monthly subscribers, right? 101 million monthly subscribers, okay? So a lot of companies, a lot of investors look at that as a positive, right? So anytime you have a company that needs a network to survive, think social media, Facebook, Instagram, right? You need a lot of people, eBay to work, streaming numbers, Netflix, then monthly users is key to their survival. And so because their monthly numbers were so strong, that's why the stock is coming up right now. Okay, so now we did the recap from yesterday, where I was right and wrong. Let's look at tomorrow, Wednesday, August 5th. All right. So, now as you know, but I'll just do a quick recap. On the left, you have companies that are providing earnings before the market opens at 9:30 a.m. And then on the right, you have companies that are providing earnings after the market closes at 4 o'clock. Now, as you know, the reason they do this is because you do not want to have a company providing earnings in the middle of the day causing crazy volatility. Okay? So, on the left, we have Moderna, CVS, Wayfair, Humana, Fiverr, and then I didn't even know, but Wendy's is actually trading on the market. And then after the market closes, we have Square, Roku, Etsy, Western Digital, and then Sonos. Okay, so out of these companies, the ones that look particularly special to me, Moderna. So they're in that biomedical vaccine COVID area. Um, I don't really have a great feel for that, but I would imagine they're probably in good shape. CVS, I know is going crazy. People have been going in there trying to get flu shots, trying to get all kinds of toilet paper and cleaning products. And actually, I read an article. I believe CVS is actually offering the ability to kind of do like a Uber Eats or a delivery service, but for drugs and medication, stuff like that. So I would assume CVS is probably in good shape. That's probably going to be a good buy tomorrow. Wayfair, yeah. Fiverr probably looks good, right? So from my viewpoint, Fiverr is that place where you can basically be able to do tasks. It's basically entrepreneur based, right? So if I needed a logo done, I can go on Fiverr, get it done. If I needed, I don't know, a video edited, I can do it on Fiverr. I'll get it done by someone on Fiverr. So I would imagine those that are probably out of work, right? We have a record number of people who are unfortunately without a job. I'm assuming some people probably went to Fiverr and said, hey, I have some skills I can offer. Let me try to make some money. So I expect Fiverr and Etsy, which is a kind of a creative, what's that place? It's on 204. What's not I mean, I wouldn't say Etsy like a flea market, but it's kind of flea market-esque, as in there are people making stuff and then selling it. So it kind of is like a flea market. So I would imagine Fiverr and Etsy are probably going to have great earnings tomorrow. So those are probably a buy. Wendy's, I'm not even going to touch that. Square, I know they have to have great earnings tomorrow, right? Everybody has been, shifting to basically, touchless payments. Everything is getting more digital. I would imagine a lot of entrepreneurs use Square. A lot of entrepreneurs has been actually creating businesses during this time. So I expect Square to have a nice pop. Roku as well, right? We're all at home. Everyone's streaming more. Yeah, I'm sure they're going to have great earnings tomorrow. And then last but not least for me is Western Digital. So what I know about them is that they're in the kind of hardware disc space. That's a good one. That may be a toss-up. I'm not too familiar with. I know their products, but as far as gauging whether or not they're going to get a good pop tomorrow, I'm not really sure. So just a quick recap: CVS, that's definitely a buy. Fiverr and Etsy, definitely a buy. Roku and Square, definitely a buy. And the rest of these I'm not familiar with enough to give you a prediction. So thank you so much for watching. Once again, please like, subscribe, and share. I'm sorry, I just realized I had the fan on while I was doing this video. So if you hear something in the background, that's the fan. Sorry about that. And but I'll see you in the next video.